Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Professionally Unprofessional Game of the Year Awards.
Hello, everyone.
I'm joined once
Hello.
again by my friend in the middle, Mr. Reece Similak,
Ooh,
and I'm
and
joined
Alfie.
and his dog Alfie, and I'm joined by my friend on the right, Elliot.
If you're here for the welcome to the actual Game Awards. That's right. This is the actual one. This is the only place where opinions actually matter.
And is not joined by his dog Ripley, who is currently getting ready to give birth to several puppies.
Oh,
That
Yeah,
Ren
I
will,
would say we're trying to keep quiet about it, but let's be honest, bet anyone watches this anyway.
and who Ren will inevitably steal them all.
Yeah, if they all go missing, I know who to blame.
So, before we go into all the awards, 2021 as a year in gaming, how did you guys find 2021? Especially considering it was coming after 2020 and the first year of gaming in a pandemic.
I thought it was a lot better than last year, honestly.
yeah, I personally thought this year was really strong. A lot of great releases.
Holy hell! This year was really good. I really liked this year.
Do you know what it was? It didn't feel like as many games this year were the ultra blockbuster hype. There wasn't the Last of Us 2 or the Final Fantasy 7 remakes as much this year. There was a lot more smaller, more discreet releases, but really brought something to the game.
It especially helps that the blockbusters of this year didn't suck. I don't know who I could be talking about.
So, how do you guys fit? I mean, how easy was it? Because we got about 19 categories to give out awards in. How easy or difficult was it this year?
A lot of these were actually pretty easy for me. My nominees for best game of the year was not that difficult. There were some changes though down the line, like especially over the last week though.
What about you, Reese? How easy or difficult was it for you picking out stuff for these?
It was there's quite a bit of back and forth because they've just been so many great games, and the ones at the top were so close to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My 5 nominees, it was really hard, and then I got it down to 2 choices, and I decided like 10 minutes before the podcast on one factor what was going to be my game of the year.
Do you know what's sad? Some of the games that came out this year that I absolutely love aren't even gonna don't get any awards from me.
Yeah, no,
Like for like a good example, The Other World Ends With You. As much as I love that game, doesn't win anything from me.
that surprises me a little bit. I'll tell you one that doesn't win an award off me that I really. There's a couple that didn't win awards off me that I really loved this year. One of them was because I'm certain no one's going to mention it. New Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, I struggle with trying to get that on the list, but just missed out.
Yeah, and there was a bunch.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of times where I was thinking, should I make the rule on my list? I'm only allowed to give 1 award per game. But then I thought that's disingenuous because I can't say this game this game isn't my favorite soundtrack, but I'm gonna give it best soundtrack, for example, or
Yeah.
this game isn't what I think is the best RPG of this year, but I'm gonna give it best RPG, so I have a more diverse list that.
Yeah, let's be honest as well. It would especially be weird if, say, for example, you gave Resident Evil 8 the award for best action game, and it didn't even end up in the category for game of the year.
I'll tell you right now, one of my of the final 4 before we get to game of the year, one of those doesn't get nominated for game of the year.
Mainly in the final 4, if I think I know the ones you're talking about, only one of them gets nominated. Actually, no, two of them get nominated.
Well, in the final 4, I'm the only one who can actually pick an award because.
And that's mostly because if I'm guessing what 2 of them are, I will be able to mention that I don't really have any proper winners because I don't have either of the consoles.
On the subject actually of that one, another one that I really wanted to give it an award, but I couldn't find a place for it. Oh god, no, mine's gone blank now. I just had it a minute ago and I thought, oh damn it, I can't believe I didn't manage to get that an award. Oh, Psychonauts 2.
Right. I haven't played that one specifically because I still want to play the first one before I do that. I have it on Steam. I just need to play it.
Yeah, no, it's proper good. I was thinking, oh, I'll give it best Xbox exclusive, but PlayStation 4 version exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get on with the awards. Let's do the we're gonna do like a few at a time, and then we'll discuss what we gave awards to. So let's start with the negative awards.
Oh boy.
So
I'd like to know. I have named these awards.
Yes, I'm looking.
I have given names for each of these awards, so you're welcome, Internet.
So we're going to do 4 awards at this point. So we're starting with worst company / publisher. What's this one called?
AKA the Activision Blizzard Award.
Yeah.
Because who do you think is going to be? Let's be honest. Even underneath it, I just wrote who do you fucking think.
Shall we? Was there any runners up for you guys that you thought if Activision Blizzard hadn't been Activision Blizzard this year, they would have won this?
No.
Ubisoft
were pretty bad this year. They were really bland, boring, and they didn't have any interesting announcements and not many great releases.
And also they've had a ton of internal problems,
Okay.
just like Activision Blizzard.
I have not been keeping up with that stuff with Ubisoft at all.
Can I say one that I was considering, and people will probably get a bit mad at me for this one, but I'm going to say Sony.
Why?
Really?
How come?
Because they were, in terms of releases, they were fucking absent at the end of the year. They did not. I honestly, outside of streaming, I've barely gone on my PlayStation 5 in recent memory because there's just not been much to play on it. It's not got a lot of hard drive space on there, so I'm really saving it for exclusives. I mean, I'm going back on it soon because I'm gonna.
Did you not play Deathloop on that?
I did, yeah, but that came out in September, and I was done with it really quickly.
Huh. What about Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I'm playing the PC.
Or Tales of Arise?
Playing the PC version of Guardians of the Galaxy, and Tales of Arise I'm playing on my Xbox.
Oh, that's fine.
Xbox is really...
Well, I was going to say, there was a big one at the end, which you guys probably didn't play, was Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy, which ran from November to December because it was 3 volumes.
Well, I did not because I don't have a PS5.
Is that on Xbox as well?
No, just PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's a PS5 exclusive.
I think most Gundam games are PlayStation exclusives. I don't remember the last time a Gundam game came out on Xbox.
It was a while ago, but there have been some on Switch as well.
Okay.
I think I know where this is going, but where's the next award? Worst game.
Oh.
Okay, so Ali, do you want to go first?
AKA the Chris Hansen Onision Documentary Award.
Nice.
Okay, technically I have 2 for this one. That's because one is a game I haven't played, one is a game I have.
Okay, what's the game you haven't played?
The game I haven't played, a game I'm sure both of you have forgotten, Dungeons of Dragons Dark Alliance.
Oh yes, that was really... I've not played it. I've heard it's really bad.
And the one I have actually played is Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oh, okay. That's not the one I thought you were going to give it to. Reese?
I would like to know if things with it have been fixed. I wouldn't know. I played it like the first week it came out.
Reese, who won for worst game for you?
Mine was Mario Golf Super Rush.
That was the one I thought.
Yeah.
And my award, if I'm going to do like Elliot, it should have gone to Balan Wonderworld because I did play the demo and it's appalling.
Oh, yeah.
But I only played the demo, so I can't say it's the proper game. But the worst game I played this year was Destruction All-Stars.
Oh, I forgot about that game.
Oh my god, it's the lowest review score I gave this year, which we'll come back to that one in a minute.
Especially because that was given away free on PS5.
Yes, and I still feel ripped off. So we'll come back to that in a minute. What's the new name for biggest review mistake we made in 2021, Elliot?
Calvin created the Anime Amigos Award.
Hi, Elliot. What do you think was the biggest mistake you made in reviewing games in 2021?
Quite obviously, rating the medium 7.6 out of 10.
Reese.
Well, I have 2. The second one's kind of a technicality. The second one was Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I reviewed it too soon while it was still unstable on the PS5. because it has had patches since for like a month, and it is better now.
I played through Guardians of the Galaxy this past week, specifically in preparation for this video. I did not have any crashes, and I only have one soft lock, which was easily fixed by me just restarting from the last checkpoint.
I did play it also in prep for this, and while I did have some soft lock issues on the PC version first time round, I had way less in this playthrough.
Yeah, so as per my review, I had 2 hard crashes and 8 soft locks in my initial playthrough.
Crap.
Bloody hell. Did you have to restart the game to fix them, or did you just have to restart from the checkpoint?
I had to restart most of them, yeah. There's only a few checkpoints that worked for some of the soft locks.
Oh, God.
What was the biggest mistake? But what was the actual biggest mistake you made?
Right, so if Garage doesn't count, because reviewing it too early, but per our job, we have to review games at release, was Metroid Dread. I rated it a bit too high with 9.8.
Yeah, I thought that. Like, I gave it a 9.3.
I think I gave it...
And mind you, I'm someone who didn't, in my review, I actually wrote, I did not have any criticism that was worth mentioning.
I gave it 9.6, I believe.
Yeah, so I don't scored the highest, and I said I may have got swept up in the nostalgia of a new 2D Metroid game since Fusion, which may have led to slight inflation of the score.
Which is funny because we all praised the living hell out of that game. And yet, a good chunk of the Nintendo community was just like, this is an excuse, so this means you should pirate Nintendo games because this game's not worth $50, $60. It's just like, what are you talking about? It is.
Yeah, with Kotaku.
It 100% is. The game is fucking amazing.
Yeah, if we did biggest mistake that the gaming media did in 2021, that was the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially before they changed the article, because he even said who to go to for a ROM and an emulator of it in the article. That's just...
And Calvin, what was your mistake?
Giving Destruction All-Stars 5.6 out of 10. I should have scored it way lower.
Yeah.
I'll go into why I proper hate Destruction All-Stars in a minute. The award that Elliot really requested... The other award Elliot really requested, Blandest Game of the Year.
AKA the Beige Coloured Wall Award.
Elliot, what wins the Beige Coloured Wall?
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not. I don't know what the internet thinks about this, but my winner for this is Bravely Default 2.
Oh, okay. Reese?
Mine was No More Heroes 3.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I have that one. I have not played it yet.
I'm a massive fan of the series, and I'll say afterwards.
My award goes to The Medium.
Oh. Like, I will admit, I did score it too high, but I still don't consider that game bad.
No.
I mean, I still think the graphics and the story is pretty damn good, honestly.
No, you said bland. That means I've
not bad.
I've got to have no feeling whatsoever after playing it, and that was my experience with The Medium. It was just, well, that exists. And for all the this is a true test of what SSD drives can do, it doesn't feel like it does much with that.
Yeah.
Let's go to your blandest game, Elliot. Bravely Default 2.
I would have written something down for these, but I don't think I had enough time when we started getting the rewards down. Yeah, but essentially, this is what I would have written. Which is the biggest thing I would say about Bravely Default 2. It's generic.
Yeah, that is, and it doesn't feel like it takes as much.
Mind you, that's not me saying that genericness as a game being generic is a bad thing. Dragon Quest XI, for example, is seriously generic. That game does basically nothing new, and yet through a combination of fun characters, a charming world, and art style, and using its genericness to its advantage, it's one of my favorite JRPGs. This one does nothing with it, though. The characters are forgettable. The story is so been there, done that. I feel the need to do a pro Jared Final Fantasy joke. And ultimately, the game just left me with absolutely nothing afterwards. Honestly, I keep forgetting it exists unless I see it on my Switch homepage.
Actually, on the subject of that one, Reese, did you play much of Bravely Default 2 when it came out?
I did play a bit, and then I forgot about it and didn't go back.
I played like 6 hours of it, and I just did not play anything else from it.
I don't think I even got that far, 6 hours. I think I got like maybe an hour or two, maybe I push.
I think I got to like the second boss.
The whole thing about it was just, to me, like, this feels like a real step backwards from Bravely Second, and all the stuff they brought in from Octopath Traveler isn't that interesting.
Yeah, like I will admit, I do think the job system is interesting, like how you had a main job and a sub job. But that's basically all I thought was unique and cool about it.
I don't think it is an unpopular opinion, Elliot. I don't remember much love coming to Bravely Default 2. I think even the people that kind of liked it admitted they didn't think it was as good as Bravely Second.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the original Bravely Default and Bravely Second are pretty good.
Yeah, they are really good games. In fact, if anything, Bravely Default 2 kind of exposes some of the weaknesses of those older games.
Yeah.
Reese, No More Heroes 3. I did not expect you to give that award out.
Yeah, it was billed as a big conclusion of the trilogy, but it just fell flat on its face. Technical issues, lag, the combat system's worse than No More Heroes 2, which was like over a decade ago.
It's funny because YouTuber Beat 'em Ups actually said that when it comes to combat, that's his favorite in the series.
Which is weird because you're just stuck with the one beam katana. You can't change it. There's no more styles to do. You can't get customized wrestling moves to change your moveset. It's just limiting in so many more ways. Even like the open world is bland and empty.
Yeah, I feel like they should have gone. Didn't No More Heroes 2 ditch the open world?
It did, because after it was so bad in 1, but somehow in 3 it was even worse than the open world Santa Destroy No More Heroes 1, which was a Wii game, and that ran better than it does on the Switch now.
Do you know if it's been improved since it first came out?
Not really.
No, it hasn't really. It's
because it is not major patches or updates or DLC or anything. It's just being left. Because it was billed as the conclusion of the trilogy, and then it still ends on a massive cliffhanger.
Oh god, of course.
In other words, the Shenmue effect.
You can definitely tell Suda51 is behind this.
Yeah. So I say at this point, play 1 and 2, then Travis Strikes Again on Switch, then just leave it there. Just don't bother with 3.
I've heard most people say that Travis Strikes Again wasn't very good.
It's a lot better than 3. It's a better conclusion.
Okay.
Calvin, are you tweeting to us as we're recording?
I just saw a thing and I thought I'm going to forget to send that if I don't do it now.
Professional.
Let's talk worst games.
Wait, but we didn't discuss your one, did we?
Oh yeah, we did briefly. The Medium.
Yeah.
The Medium.
Because again, I still think that game's all right. Personally, I still enjoyed the story, even if the ending wasn't good. Like, honestly, I did not like the ending.
But I think, like, if you don't nail the ending, then you've screwed everything that came before it.
It did. Yeah. No, I wouldn't say go that far. I wouldn't say it's like Dragon Quest My Story, where it just makes the entire build up to it pointless. I just think it could have ended on a better note. The ending didn't ruin the overall story, if you ask me.
No, it doesn't ruin it, but it also is kind of like, well, is that it? Everything about that game is just, well, is that it? It's kind of like, all the time I'm like, bored, don't care, bored. Oh my god, horror thing, run, bored. That's my entire experience watching it. I think the main
reason why I think I kind of enjoyed it that much is because it's the closest thing we've had to a Silent Hill game since PT.
Well, yeah, we're gonna.
And I'm desperate for a new Silent Hill game.
I was desperate for it too, and I thought this will be the spiritual successor to Silent Hill. I think the fact that Microsoft didn't pay them to have it exclusive on their consoles for more than a year is really a bad decision on their part.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd. It is a very odd decision, yeah.
Especially considering that, I mean, it's not an issue now, but at the time it did go to PlayStation 5, I was like, Xbox Series X and Xbox in general does not have a lot of exclusives that are new and coming out right now. You might want to hang on to this one.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking like probably hold it off till something like I don't know, Psychonauts 2 maybe at the very least came out as a timed exclusive.
But that being said, Xbox is in a much better position now. They've had Psychonauts, they've had Forza,
They have Halo now.
they've got Halo now, and they're getting Stalker 2 in a couple of months. So they're in a much better position. Worst games. Now, no surprise to anyone who read our reviews, all of us disliked Mario Golf Super Rush.
Oh, so bad.
Oh god, yeah.
Especially because I was the only one of us who actually finished story mode.
You are a saint for that one. I couldn't continue. I was just like,
Praise be to He.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Praise
it's literally the worst golf game I've ever played.
Oh my god, it is so bad. It's like
I don't know if I would go that far. The Tiger Woods golf games are pretty terrible.
No, trust me, Super Rush is worse because to get later in the story, you have to grind levels to increase your stats. Otherwise, you cannot win.
Yeah, that is.
So you have to go back and do repetitious missions over and over.
Okay,
It's sad as well because a lot of people were excited. Like, I was excited for this game.
I was as well.
It's the first Mario Golf game, standalone Mario Golf game we've had since Toadstool Tour, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like even the Mario tennis game that came out a couple of years ago is a better sports game than this one.
Yeah. They also had a larger roster on release.
It's not the worst Mario sports game ever.
Would you put that to Ultra Smash, was it?
I'd still stand by Mario Tennis Ultra Smash is the worst one. Because it's so lacking in features and lacking in anything interesting that...
Also, probably for me, the biggest sin about this game is that it's not another Mario Strikers.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want Mario Strikers. Charge is literally the best sports game I've ever played.
Do you know, it might happen now because Nintendo has bought Next Level Games, who made the
Striker series.
The Striker series. So Next Level Games has a little bit more money and freedom to do something like that.
Yeah.
It is pretty bad. Elliot, your one was... I thought you would go with Mario Golf as well, but you went for Oddworld Soulstorm. What is it you dislike about Oddworld Soulstorm as much?
Where to begin? Well, first of all, this is the first Oddworld game we've had for a good while.
Yeah.
And from what I'm aware of, the remake of Abe's Odyssey, I can't remember the name of it, but I remember...
Tasty.
You and Tasty, that's it, thank you. I remember people saying that one was really good.
It was, yeah. I played
And
it.
when this was meant to be a remake for Exodus, which is said to be the best Oddworld game, I got really excited. And ultimately, they tried to do what Final Fantasy VII did, but while Final Fantasy VII's actually expanded the story and felt like an actual extension to the game, this felt more like it was just adding stuff to the game. It was just sort of like padding. The levels will go on for over an hour. Then that's if you didn't make any mistakes and found all the Madokans.
Okay.
And there were so many glitches to the game. Like the enemy, I would die to the glitches constantly. The enemies would be able to see me when I was clearly hiding. I just found myself getting really frustrated, and hence why it's one of 2 reviews I gave up on doing. The difference is, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was the other one, but the difference is that one I gave up just because, well, I found it really difficult. I just thought I wouldn't be able to finish it by the deadline.
Because
And
of all the grinding.
Yeah, because of all the grinding. It just became a bit of a slog, but I still like that game. Soulstorm, I just couldn't stomach it anymore, and I just thought, there are bad games coming out, I'm just going to move on to them. So, yeah, just really didn't like that one.
I got Soulstorm on PlayStation 5 when it was the free game of the month, and I couldn't stomach it either. This is a really backwards move for the Oddworld games, and it made me think, did I ever really like these games in the first place? Because this doesn't feel very fun.
No, the thing is, the GOTY games are fun. I played some of Odyssey. That game's fantastic. That game's awesome.
Especially with its dark humor as well. on the PS1.
Oh, the humor in it is really fun. It's really good. I love that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's lacking in Soulstorm. It is not. There's not a lot of humor there.
Yeah, the only humor you do get is in the endings, which are all bad anyway.
They try to take it into a more of a serious, more cinematic thing, but the humor was part of the charm to Oddworld. It was the combination of dark and serious, yet hilarious.
I'm wondering if that is Sony's influence to say you need to make this more cinematic for our fan base.
I don't know, because it wasn't a PlayStation exclusive. It came onto the Epic Game Store at the same time.
Yeah, but Sony had the console exclusivity rights for a while, and they were in charge of the marketing for it. So that says to me that they definitely had an influence over this.
And just quickly, one honorable mention. I don't think I was allowed to mention this, to add this one, because technically it's not a new game. The GTA Trilogy.
Oh, yeah, GTA Trilogy is terrible.
That just goes without saying. All those videos of glitches going around, so bad.
Yeah, it was that was the last Gymquisition video I watched. And that was when I was taking a break, because I just thought, I think this will be more funny than him just being aggressively negative. And it was, actually. It was kind of funny.
So,
I'd like to know if there's no shit on Jim Sterling. I've just become more sensitive to negativity and aggressiveness, I guess.
Oh, yeah. God. Can we move on to Destruction All-Stars? Because I want to get this one off my chest.
Yes, please do.
Destruction All-Stars, I got it when it was the free game of the month, and I still, as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, to really take advantage of that PlayStation 5 technology, and I still feel ripped off.
Really?
If you paid full price for this game, you have been ripped off wholly. There is so little content on this game, despite the fact it's an online, even by online-only game standards. The car physics are terrible. The haptic triggers are rubbish. It's trying to be Overwatch and Destruction Derby at the same time, and it doesn't work at doing either. It's just. You ever feel? You know how people say games can often feel like they come off a factory conveyor belt.
This does, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's one of the prime examples I would use, because it's just made to capitalize on current trends. It's kind of capitalized on battle royales and Rocket League and Overwatch and other hero-based games. And it's just like and it was the whole thing of it was, is that it? And then they charged extra for single-player content.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, no,
that is,
and that's like £5 for an extra for a character's story mode.
Jesus Christ. That would be like Bandai Namco holding off the story for a character in Soul Calibur.
It is kind of like that, and what's worse about it is, this would have been kind of fine if it had remained a free game, but it's not a free game anymore. So that means you're paying a full-price PlayStation 5 release with extra transactions on top of that. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing an online-only game, how many modes would you expect, bare minimum, in it?
Well, you think for like a racing game, a structure game, like 4 at least.
Yeah,
I'd say 4 as well.
Well, there is 4, but 2 of them are pretty much clones of the other one, so there's really like 3. And it's just like one of them, and all these matches end so quickly. There's one mode that's basically a driving version of that hexagon game from Fall Guys. And and you can be out of that game in like 30 seconds and accomplish nothing.
Wow.
Oh, and the customization sucks, the experience sucks, everything about the game is just fucking appalling. And it's where I came with the rule that 5 out of 10 should not go to games just because they barely function. But if a game functions, that's not a sign it's a good game.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go on to
So that's the bare minimum a game should be able to do.
So let's go on to some positive stuff now. Let's get the negative out of the way.
We need to talk about our mistakes.
Yeah, well, you got my one.
And mine.
And you got why Reese felt he did his one a bit too much. Elliot, your biggest mistake was
rating the medium 7.6 out of 10.
Why was that?
If you ask me, those numbers should be reversed. Maybe looking back at it, I was still kind of new to reviewing. I think it was like my 5th review. I'd only been doing it for a couple months. It was my first ever game. It was the first game on Xbox, so I think that kind of pumped it up. And I just, I did enjoy the story when I played it. I still think the story is good. But yeah, just because the game has a good story, that does not mean it should be rated that high. I mean, if you hear how ridiculous it was, I gave it a higher rating than I did Voice of Cards, Nier Replicant, and Skyward Sword.
Oh no way! It is worse than all of those games.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk positives now. We'll start with we're going to do 3 awards in this one. So we're gonna start with best soundtrack. What's this one called, Elliot?
The Wii Music Award.
Elliot,
the best music game of all time.
Elliot, what is yours? Elliot,
the best rhythm game of all time.
What won best soundtrack for you?
This was probably the most difficult one for me.
Yes, there were so many good ones this year.
There were so many amazing soundtracks.
What took it
in the end? Obviously, I had to give it to Persona 5 Strikers.
Okay, that's a 1 win for Persona 5 Strikers. Reese?
Mine was Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's no surprise.
Hell yeah!
And my award went to Persona 5 Strikers.
Woo!
So
I'd like to know, Guardians of the Galaxy was so close for me.
Yeah,
because not just from all the licensed songs, but also like
all the original songs.
The score made it sound like an actual Marvel movie. And as for the Star-Lord album, I actually have it. I actually have it on iTunes.
I got it on Spotify.
I just
think it's so amazing. I want a second game just so we get more of them.
I thought you were going to give it to Neo: The World Ends With You, Elliot. To be honest,
that was a good one. That was close as well. Neo: The World Ends With You has such a good soundtrack. But my main thought with Persona 5 is Persona 5 already had an amazing soundtrack. This game has not only some of the old songs, but remixes some of the old ones. In my opinion, kind of improving them as well. And the original songs they have still fucking slap.
Reese, I thought you were going to pick Monster Hunter Rise at one point.
That does have a great score, but it is mostly instrumentals and for the monster intros. Whereas Guardians had amazing vocals and a wider range of instruments.
I will say it has my favourite version of Proof of a Hero.
Oh yeah, easily.
Quick question though, what's your favourite Star-Lord song?
Don't make me choose.
That is so difficult.
While we're thinking over that, next award, best update to a game through DLC or free updates. And again,
the Incomplete Homework Award.
Again, this game did not have to come out in 2021, but the update or DLC had to come out in 2021. So, Elliot, what won this award for you?
Just because this is the only DLC I really remember, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Reese?
Monster Hunter Rise.
Monster Hunter Rise, I have no surprise there. I gave it, although I thought you might have given it to Stories too. I'm going to give it to Animal Crossing.
Hey!
So, it's a nice, wide, varied awards then.
Yeah. All gave them to Nintendo Switch exclusives.
Action game, fluffy slice of life game. One of these things is not like the others.
One of these things just doesn't
belong.
Best multiplayer experience. What's this one called, Elliot?
1 sec. The Unexpected Threesome Award.
I quite like that. Elliot, what are you giving this award to?
Obviously, it has to be Monster Hunter Rise.
One for Monster Hunter Rise. Reese?
Monster Hunter Rise.
I'm giving it to Mario Party Superstars.
Ah, right.
The upset.
If we can.
Oh, wait. Can I change my my DLC award?
Yes.
Quickly. Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. They had great DLC in Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that's at the minute. Monster Hunter Rise has taken the most number of awards at the minute. It's got 3 awards so far off us.
Wow.
It's probably going to go up as we go along.
Probably.
Possibly.
One of the
I'm
things
saying nothing.
One of the things that surprised me as well is Reese for ages was going on about how we'll start with the DLC one since we kind of Elliot's had a change of heart on it, and there's a point I wanted to bring up. Reese for most of the year when I was talking to him was going on about how Stories 2 had way better DLC than Rise. What made you suddenly change your mind by the end of 2021?
Well, it's because we actually have an ending now.
Yeah, true.
And we have all the Capcom and Sega free DLC with Sonic and Mega Man.
Oh yeah, the Sonic Mega Man, the Street Fighter stuff, the Okami stuff. It was really great.
I mean, it's got a ton of new monster quests as well, all the Apex hunts.
Yeah,
which is great fun.
Like, I love how they're constantly updating it. Like, it's not just like one. Like, they're constantly just trickling out small bits of content to keep people playing it. I just think that's really, really cool, especially seeing as we're actually getting paid DLC, which, seeing as we got all this for free, that's going to be massive. I can already tell. Yeah,
I imagine it'll be something akin to Iceborne for Worlds.
Yeah, and that was really big, wasn't it?
Yeah, because with Iceborne it was a whole Master Rank for Worlds, which is our equivalent of G Rank for the rest of the games.
It's the thing about it is, I mean, Monster Hunter Rise could win this in 2022 as well as the 2021 award for if Sunbreak really lives up to the hype. But the thing about it is, the Apex monsters alone added tons to it. Like, I took on the Apex, what's that serpent that blows bubbles again?
Zitsune.
Zitsune. I took on the Apex Zitsune. It kicked my ass. Like, I'm really strong. It took almost all my health from full with one hit.
Did you did you play with other players or just yourself?
Other players, and we lasted like 4 minutes before we were out.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Have you broken Hunter Rank 100 yet, Cal?
No, I'm on 83, I think. 83, 84.
Well, once you get to 100, it gets even harder.
I will admit, I'm only on Hunter Rank 4 at the minute, but I am playing. But that's mostly because I'm having a lot of fun grinding monsters for new gear.
Yeah. Well, one of my favourite monsters actually returned once you broke 100s, which I won't spoil it, but it's basically a jet plane combined with a dragon.
Oh, I know the one you're on about now. I'm so looking forward to finding it. What does the gear that you get when you beat it look really cool?
Oh, it does. It looks so edgy. It's hilarious.
I am going to take a picture of my Switch as soon as I get it.
Well, I know what armor I'm meaning.
Oh yeah.
So
right now,
it's so good for most weapons as well. So you can just have it like a generic armor.
It's right now the costume I'm wearing is from Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking at my Smash banner, and the 3 characters that were introduced via DLC this year were Pyra and Mithra.
4 off.
Technically 4.
Pyra and Mithra, yeah, technically 4. Pyra and Mithra, Kazuya, and Sora. And those were all great characters and additions to the roster.
There wasn't a single character this year that I was disappointed by. They were all great choices.
Whereas you look at 2020, they had Byleth, which, yeah, we like him, but it wasn't the best choice.
Min was okay. Steve was to be expected. The only one I was really excited for was Sephiroth.
That is true, but I also feel like they did a lot of great bouncing issues with Smash Brothers throughout the year, and it's a shame that it's over, but it had to end at some point.
Yeah, it is a shame, but you know, it's been an amazing. We've already done a podcast on it. It's been an amazing 3 years.
Yeah, it's just so funny that they had to wait until the end of Fighter Pass 2 to get another Bandai Namco rep in Kazuya.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think anyone thought Kazuya would be in Smash, but the more that we thought, but when he was announced, I just thought Yeah, this just makes way too much sense.
Yeah, it does feel like Tekken deserves its place in that roster.
It does definitely fit Smash more than Street Fighter does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting comment on that one. We'll dwell on that for a bit, but my award in this one went to Animal Crossing, and I feel like with Animal Crossing, it was a necessary DLC. This game was really starting to get a bit tiring. A lot of people had finished their museums. I haven't. It's my New Year's resolution. I've been staying up till like 11 o'clock each night trying to catch barrel eyes.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
we're staying up that late for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, because the fish doesn't appear until 9 o'clock at night. So I start the game and I've got to collect so much fish bait, and it's not a barrel eye. I'm doing it for months at an end. I can't get any more sea creatures till March. That fucking Fox Red sells me fake artwork constantly. The bugs are not going to start showing up again till like March. I've got nothing to do. I can't catch a coelacanth because they only show up in rain, and it's only snowing on the island at the minute.
Calm down. Calm down. You have another one of your episodes.
Okay, but the DLC has added quite a bit to it. Just small things like Brewster has been great. The storage cabinet in my town means I don't have to go back to my house every time I want to put something away. The coffee shop's really good fun. I like the gyroids are cool. Capin's tours are great on it. On that one, and add a bit of extra flair to it. I earned like several bells because I went to an island that was full of money trees, for example, one time. But Happy Home Paradise is a brilliant mode as well.
It's funny because I think my and Reese's picks were games that all three of us played. I think at the minute only you play Animal Crossing.
To that degree, I was definitely the only one who played it, and
because I will say now I love Animal Crossing to bits. Like I don't think I play it enough, which is a shame because I think the game is fantastic. But I think the main reason why is just because, to quote Scott the Wars, when you stop playing Animal Crossing, it's very difficult to get back into it, and I felt that.
And it was like, it definitely is for people that. The thing is, I never really fell off it, and it's almost like every time there was a new update, it was something cool. And if there's one, if there's one YouTuber I'm really going to recommend, it's a guy called Dragneal, and he does excellent guides on each month of Animal Crossing of. Here's which villagers are having their birthdays. Here's the fish that are leaving and coming into the island. Here, if you live in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, here's the bugs. Here's the sea creatures. Basically, here's what you want to prioritize. And I think he does a very good job saying, here's how to get the most out of this month in Animal Crossing.
I mean, with me, as I said many times, I'm more someone who... I like to have my fun with the game and then move on to...
Another one.
The only exceptions to that being Dark Souls 3 and currently Monster Hunter Rise.
Whereas me, I just got burnt out, and then if you don't play for a bit, you just get shamed because your villagers move out and your island gets covered in weeds.
The former doesn't happen in Animal Crossing New Horizons. The villagers don't leave.
That's good.
Don't leave if you wait too long. In fact, they can't leave without your permission.
Oh, so it's into a dictatorship then?
Well, no, because they always come to you and say, I really feel like moving, and then you can say, oh, please don't go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the reason why I stopped playing the second time is because a villager wanted to live in my island, a villager that was so ugly. I just had to... I try my best... I couldn't deny it, but I was just like, I just stopped playing, put the game down. I have not gone back to it.
Yeah, that was a weird scenario. That sort of like just... I really wish you remembered which villager it was.
Give me a sec. I'll try and look him up.
While we're doing that, multiplayer, you guys both picked Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
Which easily is my second place in this one. But I had to get...
Monster Hunter Rise was really, really good.
Like,
Yeah, especially because it's just so easy to drop in and drop out with friends.
yeah, but oh my god, it was so much fun to play with friends, and even just playing with randos, it made the game a bit more of an fun.
Yeah.
Although that being said, it did suck when you came across a person who was really awful at the game, or just went off and did their own thing.
Oh yeah.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
Seriously, I was with one game, and I was like, there was two of us fighting. There was one guy just wandering around, just getting resources some prick trying to get one of the monsters to run towards them so they can trigger a turf. For I'm like, we can do that later. We're getting our asses kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, honestly, no, the biggest problem I've ever ended up running into was when did like one of those search requests things where I sent them out and no one would show up until like the very end when the monster was nearly defeated, and they will capture the bastard. But I was trying to kill it.
Yeah, Elliot. I did this with Elliot when he was test streaming, and he was really annoyed every time someone captured a monster rather than killed it.
Well,
you don't
capturing
get
is actually
shit.
better than killing.
You do get more resources if you capture it rather than kill it.
Yeah, and you also end the fight sooner, so less chance of carting. So that combined with more resources from the rewards, more money, most of the time it is better just to capture.
Reese, you're the Monster Hunter expert. How would you say this compares with, say, Monster Hunter Worlds multiplayer or previous Monster Hunter multiplayer with online multiplayer? Because I heard a lot of people say they weren't happy with the size of the lobby space in Rise's overworld.
Yeah, because with World, it was a lot more open. You had more people waiting in rooms. And also there was more service searching functions. So with Rise, it did feel more limited.
How do you feel overall?
I was going to say that when you're in a match or in a quest with others, it did feel more stable than World did at release, which was a lot better.
Yeah, that was definitely...
I think I found the one, by the way. I think it was Coach.
Oh, Coach! Yeah, no, I can see what you mean.
He's fucking ugly. My God.
But I will say, when it comes to Monster Hunter Rise's multiplayer, I don't know about you guys, I rarely, if ever, had a connection issue or it lagged. It was almost like we were all in the same room at the time we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been great.
Yeah, especially because when I play like in the middle of the morning, so I play like Japanese players, and I never have any issues with them. The connection's always solid.
Yeah, pretty much whenever I play, most of the time, it's always Japanese people.
Yeah, that seems to happen with me a lot.
Yeah, the game was just super fun. It's funny because I only probably got into it like in the last couple months. Like I started playing it around November because I was bored. I wanted to be prepared for some break, and I just fell in love with it. I just thought it was fantastic.
Reese,
it's just that moment where it clicked.
Yeah. Reese, what have you done? You've turned us into Monster Hunter junkies like you.
Well, if any of you guys started back in 2004 like I did on the PS2.
Do you know, my first Monster Hunter game, I didn't really get into it as much. My first Monster Hunter game was the one on the Wii.
Oh, try.
My first one was 4 for 3DS. In fact, that's the 3DS I have, the Monster Hunter one.
Ah, sweet. I do as well.
Ah, dope.
So out of the two of us, which one of us you think got the best start?
Well, I say no matter where you start, as long as you keep playing, you're all good hunters.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because each game is unique, and they have unique mechanics. Like with Try, they have the swimming mechanics, which didn't return. So each game does feel unique in its own regards. Like with Rise, you have unparalleled exploration and movements, just using the zip lines and flies everywhere.
Yeah, no, the movement in this game is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Not to mention, isn't this the first one where you could actually ride the monsters?
No, you have been able to do that before in like Worlds and Generations.
Okay.
But it does feel like they did a very good job with it this time round. It does feel like the updates have been very good to it.
Yeah, especially because in Rise, you can actually use the monsters' movesets, where in older games, The only thing you could do was control them and ram them into walls.
So actually having monster fights is really cool.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think, wasn't this game the one that added Palamutes?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was such an improvement.
Best boy Palamute.
Yes, no, I definitely agree. The Palamutes are nothing to take away from Palicos, because I do enjoy having Palicos in my team.
But being able to ride the Palamutes when the monsters are running away is a godsend.
Yeah. It speeds up the game so much, because in older games, you literally just had to run, and that was how you got around.
It's one of those where I'm like, I've got to power up my Palico for a little bit, and it's going to take longer to level up than my Palamute. So I'm playing online. I'm like, I'm so slow now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Mario Party Superstars, which was my pick for this award.
Yeah.
I really like Mario Party Superstars. It feels like the biggest return to form since the Wii for Mario Party.
I've played a few games of it, none of which I've won.
I was at one point doing like one game a day of this online.
Oh wow!
I proper love this game of Mario Party.
I will say, when I played it at my mate Sean's house, and it was me, him, and his girlfriend all playing against each other, and we have a running joke when we play Mario Party where we just shit on Daisy because every time we play against her, she screws us over constantly. Oh. And I picked a random character to be against. It ended up being Daisy. She's constantly screwed us over. So it just led to the point where we're just like, no, we don't care who wins anymore. We're going to try and make her come last. And you know what? Wow. When we managed to do that on like I think the second to last term, we just celebrated.
Is Daisy like what Donkey Kong is to Scott the Woz for you guys?
Pretty much hard DK, yeah.
Yeah. It's got actually very good online multiplayer. It doesn't crash if someone rage quits or loses connection. It just replaces them with an AI opponent.
Yeah,
like Smash Bros, where the room goes down.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. But
actually, that doesn't happen in Smash Bros. What happens in Smash Bros is no one just gains or loses any global Smash points.
Yeah,
which is really annoying.
Then.
Yeah,
it still hasn't been fixed.
Here's where the real problem is, though, with that. The AI is dumb as shit.
Yeah, I can imagine.
At least it's still AI.
Yeah, I was playing a game with Derek from Good Vibes Gaming, and we were playing we decided I picked Rosalina and I think he picked Daisy, so we had a princess showdown by making the other two AI the other princesses. And we were amazed by how much the AI made. Even though we set the AI to hard, it made so many dumbass decisions that screwed it over. Like, it wouldn't go towards a star when it had an opportunity. It bought items unnecessarily that served no purpose. So if you get... The best way to get our Mario Party Superstars is to get a whole group of your friends and just do it. But when it comes all together, this is the Mario Party I've been waiting for. It needs some DLC this year. Luckily, data miners have suggested it is getting DLC.
I mean, there's a reason why when we do the Anime Amiga's 5th anniversary stream, why I'm planning us doing Mario Party.
I mean, soundtrack-wise, I think we've sort of talked about all our best soundtracks. It's no surprise me and Elliot picked Persona 5 Strikers because we're big Persona 5 fans. We got into so much detail about why it works.
Persona 5 is my favorite gaming soundtrack of all time, and this is just as fantastic. It is really damn good.
What's your favorite song in the new game, Elliot?
Gotta Be My Hero.
I was going with Counter-Strike for mine.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking you'd say Daredevil.
Daredevil or Counter-Strike is one of those two. And my favorite instrumental is the theme of Alice's Palace.
Yeah, that one's really good.
But I mean,
anyway, back to my previous question. What's your favorite Star-Lord song?
Oh,
I have had a quick listen to them again, and it's Zero to Hero.
Yeah, I'm going to say
same. Zero to Hero. So I like to say Space Riders with No Name, Watch Me Shine, We're Here, all great songs. The entire album is fantastic.
Also, what a genius idea to have Star-Lord get his name from his favourite band.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that makes total sense when you think about the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incidentally, while we're on the subject of soundtracks, what do you guys think overall of the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack?
I really loved it,
Fantastic.
especially the
Absolutely
score as well.
phenomenal.
Score is
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
They actually made it sound like it's an actual Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like when you took a look at the soundtracks those films have, they are all grandiose. They are all just really amazing. This is exactly what this game felt like. It felt like a game on a Marvel movie.
Where
especially with the whole licensed soundtrack as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
All the music.
Like, I'm not kidding. I'm tempted at some point to cosplay as that Star-Lord and get an actual Walkman and listen to those songs on an actual cassette tape. Hell, I would happily sit down and record the entire Star-Lord album on a cassette tape just so I can listen to it on there.
I think we need to get a bit more of a move on because we're an hour in and we've only got through this many awards. So we're going to...
Come on, dude. It's our game of the year. It's going to be long.
So we're doing 3 more awards in this. We're doing 4 more. I think we're doing. We're doing 4 awards this time.
Yep.
So we'll start with best graphics and art style. Elliot.
AKA the Donkey Kong TV show award.
Okay, Elliot. What's won this for you?
This might sound a bit surprising. I went with Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8. Okay, I'm going to ask you a bit more on that one. Reese.
I went with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for mine.
That's not surprised me in the slightest.
I went with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart as well.
And that does not surprise me in the slightest. I was slightly thinking that one of you might go for Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Okay, so next award is... Come on, you bastard.
Best Company and Publisher.
Best Company / Publisher.
AKA the Goodest Boy Award.
Now, the main criteria for this one we would assign was... on release announcements they made, releases that came out, and their public relations with gamers throughout the year. So, Elliot, what took your award?
I'm in an R in with this one because, as I said, I haven't been keeping up with gaming media as much as I normally do. But I had a quick look over them. I went with Insomniac Games.
Insomniac Games for you, Reese?
I was thinking Insomniac Games, but then I just went, I'll have to go Capcom.
Okay.
I was humming and hawing over both of yours, and I also was thinking Atlas, maybe, but I decided to go with Capcom.
Yeah, that's fair.
Best remaster / re-release.
The Home Alone 2 Lost in New York Award.
Elliot?
I went with Metopia.
Metopia? Coming to Switch. Reese?
I went with Hades.
Hades.
Console ports.
Hades coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. I went for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Alfie, not the camera.
Yeah, I'll have a little shake then.
Shake down, break down. Final award, best story and narrative.
The English Teacher Approval Award.
Elliot, where does this go?
I went with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Reese?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I made it 3 for 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. So
I was just frozen on my end then.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy won it for me, I should say, as well. I was 3 awards for Guardians there. I'm surprised. I really wanted to give it to Persona 5 Strikers, but
I was thinking for the longest time to give it to Neo: The World Ends With You.
Same. I was really considering that one because Neo: The World Ends With You nails its ending.
There are so many games that have amazing stories. There's Persona 5 Strikers, Neo: The World Ends With You, Tales of Arise.
But which I thought was going to win your one, Elliot. But Guardians of the Galaxy, what a story!
What an amazing story! Wow.
The one time the Game Awards got anything right with best narrative.
Yeah, no, they can. I was kind of. I remember we did our awards and our predictions. I was kind of skeptical of that, but I hadn't finished the story at that point. Now that I have, no, hands down, Guardians needed to win that award.
Even when I hadn't finished it, I knew that they made a good choice here. Because that's mostly because I was so panicky that they were going to pick Life is Strange: True Colors.
Oh
So-
God, if they had picked
That
that,
so it tends to be the crowd pleaser.
oh God, if they had picked that, that would have just been a atrocity.
That would just been bad.
I did not give away spoilers because I want people to actually play this. I think my favorite moment was a particular moment involving Drax in the 10th chapter of the game.
Oh, that bit. Oh, I love that one.
For mine, it would have to come down to Cosmo and the unlockable thing you can get towards the end of the game featuring him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cosmo, for a character that got screwed in the MCU, thank Christ they did something with him this time.
My bit has to be the bit with Star-Lord and Nikki just before the final boss.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, no. Nikki, what a cool character to introduce this time round. What a brilliant choice they made with her.
Yeah, what a fantastic... Yeah, like, I remember you saying if this was a Marvel MCU movie, it would be one of the best. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And my camera's no longer lagging on my side.
So on the subject of this one, how do you think it compares to, say, Spider-Man on PS4?
I have not played that one, honestly.
Reese, in terms of story, how would you say it compares to the Spider-Man games on PS4?
Well, from my experience with Spider-Man, I have platted the remaster for PS5. So I have played both stories through for plats. And I will say Guardians is better, in my opinion.
I think I agree. I feel like there's a couple of moments in Spider-Man that don't quite work as well, but I would say I really like... That's not to say I dislike Spider-Man's story. I think Spider-Man's story is excellent.
I say the biggest difference with the two is that in all these games where they say your choices matter when really they're just pretending that it does, to just sort of say, you have your own choices, even if it does ultimately lead to the same result. Life is Strange being one of them. No, this game, your choices actually matter. The things that happen, affect not just story but gameplay.
Yeah, massively.
Like, for example, whether you decide to hide the llama or Rocket's equipment, or things like if you somehow manage to convince Cosmo of something that I'm not going to mention due to spoilers. All that really improves. That all actually adds up and helps to make the game easier or more difficult in some way.
Yeah, no, for example, when you first encounter the main villains of the game, I failed to distract them long enough for Rocket to mess with that drone, so I had a much harder time in that level than I had.
I actually managed to do that, and yeah, it was still... I think that also added to the game being a bit easier for me because I played it on hard mode and I did not die very often.
Reese, please, for the love of God, tell me you failed to distract that guy and Rocket failed to hack the drone as well.
Nope, I managed to distract it.
Oh God, I'm the dumbass of the group.
Yeah.
Incidentally, on that one, did you throw away the llama or the weapons?
I hid the weapons.
I hid the llama and threw out the weapons.
I hid the llama and threw out the weapons. How could you, Elliot?
And also, because I went back for a second playthrough afterwards for a few of the choices on chapter repeat, and the llama is the correct answer to hide.
I thought because my main thought was it's just a llama. There's a good chance it could be a biohazard. There's also a chance that it won't. It hasn't done anything so far. And also, the weapons are pretty much very illegal.
I feel like Guardians doesn't really...
However, doing either does benefit. You hiding a llama gives you a shorter fine, but you hiding the weapons adds to... gives you more of an advantage in more space fights later.
True, but how could you... But that llama is so adorable.
It is. And don't worry, the llama just stay.
Incidentally, best... I would say Guardians... Because it doesn't win any more awards off me for the rest of this thing. I'll let that one go now. It doesn't do much in terms of the gameplay department, but in terms of story, really picks it up. And this feels like the game Avengers should have been.
definitely.
Yeah, like I think everyone was nervous after the failure of Avengers with Square doing another Marvel game, but I want a second one of these.
Yeah.
I really do. I want to see what happens next with this crew.
Absolutely, and it was really the surprise of the year for me. I did not expect to like Guardians as much as I did.
Oh, I absolutely loved it in the end.
So let's talk then. So remaster and re-release is the one we meant the most. Reese went for Hades going on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yep, which I've now played on PS5 and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it is a very good version, the PlayStation 5 version. I'm not sure it's the best choice because it would have been. It doesn't really add anything new that wasn't on the Switch and PC.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of hesitant with it, because it was more just a straight port.
Well, it also, compared to the Switch version, it doubles the frame rate.
Oh yeah, it does double the frame rate, so
which helps a lot.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, I guess that's fine. Personally, I didn't have any issues with frame rate with the Switch. I was still able to play through that version fine. But I feel like you might also be. Am I wrong in saying you would probably also get that in the PC version?
Yeah, you will get it on the PC version.
Yeah.
But that being said, the fact it's nice that more people can play it. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely,
I'm really happy that more people are able to play it. It is my game of last year.
Plus,
unless I'm able to count Persona 5 Royal.
Plus, the great it had physical releases.
Oh yeah.
This game is now no longer going to be lost to time.
Thank God for that.
Elliot went for
Miitopia.
Miitopia. I wasn't a huge fan of the Miitopia port onto Switch.
Did you enjoy the 3DS game?
I kind of did, but I wasn't huge on it, and I was kind of thinking Switch is going to make me really enjoy this one, and it didn't. I still didn't really do that.
I was already a massive fan of it on the 3DS. It's my favorite 3DS game. And this one there's so many improvements. For example, the horse.
The horse, yes.
I was able to make Bicorn from Shin Megami Tensei into a character.
I will say the thing about it for me that does it for me is I don't really like games where you have to make the game. If you know what I mean.
Not really. It's not really much we have to make the game. More like you can just put in any me that you want. And it's more just your own characters that you can do and some of the important ones. But then you can just do random.
I think it's just because I'm not much of a me maker, so that probably is why it didn't do much for me.
I mean, I just made my own me, and everyone else is just from online. Well, the Amigos. I made the Amigos me's.
Yeah, you made a mistake, though, because you didn't make me a chef class.
I did.
Oh, you did? Yes, I remember now. And it was like...
Yeah, I did make you a chef class. Obviously. What else would you be?
Exactly.
But, like, I just thought it had so much which improved. Like, holy hell, the character creator alone is so detailed. Like, there's so much you can do. And when you look at, just by looking online, you can see all the amazing creations that people have done. This is the best character creator I've ever seen in a game.
I think it is a very good character creator. There is a lot of great creations online for people to work with. Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This game really surprised me in how much it made me reassess and really enjoy all over again Mario 3D World.
This is the first time I played it, and I fell in love with it. Like,
it's a fantastic game.
Like, I'm still playing it, trying to get trying to 100% it.
I'm trying to 100% as well, although I'm not going to get the top of the flag and all with every single character because I have other things to do.
Oh no, I'm doing that.
Oh god, there's just so many levels where I think I don't want to play this level with this character. If you know what I mean. And there's some levels like I never want to play. I've got the top of the flag. I never want to play this level ever again. But
I mean, yeah. Luckily, it doesn't feel like any of them are like unfair. It does at the very least feel like there's stuff add on. And not to mention, I'm so surprised by how much Nintendo changed this game and improved it. Like, the characters are faster. The saving is done in the background. I love that the stamps are now colored in.
I also love the fact that now it's on a console that has a proper 3D Mario game with Odyssey and of course the 3D All Stars if you get that as well. it doesn't feel like a lesser Mario game anymore. It just feels because it feels like it's in its proper place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is something that it was definitely a weakness it had when it was on Wii U.
I still have people praising the living hell out of it. I remember the completionist saying like how it ended up being one of his favorite Wii U games. I think.
Incidentally, while we're on the subject, how did you guys feel about Bowser's Fury content in it?
Oh hell, that was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
They're definitely opening to the idea of a Mario open world game at this point. That is definitely a test run for that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, it was funny though when the press release for it first came out, or the mistranslations for Bowser's new form is called God Slayer Bowser. And it was hyped as hell.
Oh,
that's an awesome name.
Yeah. I want Nintendo to actually play with that figure and actually have a God Slayer Bowser.
Oh my god, just Bowser Godzilla.
We'll talk about company and publisher in a minute, but graphics and art style. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart takes two of them. There's no surprises why me and Reese picked this one, but I'll let Reese take this one. Your choice in this one?
Yeah, it was just a real pinnacle showcase of PS5 technology. Like the dynamic fur textures and everything just looks so polished.
Oh yeah, this just looks like so much of this is PlayStation 5 arrived.
I'm so surprised no one picked Guardians of the Galaxy for this, seriously.
It looks good, but it has a few rendering issues every now and again, I'd say.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but like the environments are really cool, especially when you go into like the church's base and everything. There's just such an awesome style to it.
Yeah, well, it's going to say on my playthrough, because I played it so early, there was a lot of graphical issues.
I will also say I feel like Ratchet & Clank's worlds are a little more creative with how they're designed as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've always have been. Like, pretty much since the first game, there's always been a lot of creativity when it comes to their worlds.
It also is, like, it's outshining a lot of movies in terms of the character animations.
Oh, yeah. Because at this point, graphically, it felt on par with the Ratchet & Clank movie that we got a few years back.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. And even though that movie and the game that came with it weren't very good.
I like the PS4 game. That game is really fun. I got the platinum trophy for it. That game is awesome.
It's all right, but it's not. Not a great remake of the PS2 game.
Yeah. I think it's still really good. Like, don't get me wrong, 3's still my favorite, but I think it takes a lot of the good elements from the first 3 games and just sort of puts them in, and it works really well. Like, trust me, I didn't get a platinum trophy for it for nothing.
Let's move on to your one, Elliot, though. Resident Evil Village. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah. This, the main reason why I picked it is, well, first of all, the game looks amazing. You can definitely tell they've improved from Resident Evil 7's graphics, which were already really great. But I just really like the environments, the entire feel of the village, and I love how all the main baddies areas were so distinct and matched them so much. Like Demetresk is a giant manor, like which is on par with the Spencer Mansion. The Heisenberg is in a metal factory. The doll is in a haunted house. I just thought all that stuff really matched. The best way to describe it is everyone felt like a different type of horror. Everyone felt like it was emulating a different type of horror movie. And the entire game was pretty much felt like an homage to Hammer horror films.
The RE engine still looks really good at this point.
It still looks fantastic. Yeah.
I'm also going to say, before we move on from that, it's funny how they're still using it for Monster Hunter as well, because it's an adaptation of the engine.
Yeah, and I found it amazing that they did have to modify it, obviously, but I'm amazed they got that engine working on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, wow, well done, guys.
Yeah, Capcom, you have done it. Like, Capcom is doing really well just with presentation alone.
Well, obviously, we'll talk about Capcom a little bit in a minute, because me and Reese both picked for best company and publisher, but you picked Insomniac, Elliot.
Yeah. Mostly just because I think they're on a really good track record. I had a look on their Twitter. They legitimately seem like really good at communicating with the community. a lot, and they've had some really good. Obviously, Ratchet and Clank was amazing. They've had some really good announcements. I just think overall they've been a really great company.
Yeah, they had that issue where someone wanted to more sexualize Rivet before the game came out, and luckily the developers just said, "No, this is our character. You're not doing that." Which good on them.
Another one of that would be the creators for Psychonauts 2.
Oh,
because I remember a fan like sort of asked something, I think, when it came to completion, and they actually listened and put something in.
Oh, that was Double Fine. They make the
Double Fine. They like just kind of shows like, yeah, these are really cool people.
Now, Reese, I'll say to your one, you and me both picked Capcom, and Capcom had an amazing year. Their only real stumble was the E3 show that wasn't very good.
Yeah, and whole Resident Evil block. That just fizzled out.
That was kind of all that, but their releases were great. Like they had the only really weak release they had was Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected, and that was just because it wasn't amazing. It was just kind of okay.
But yeah, they also take on a ton of fan feedback from Monster Hunter as well, because the Japanese Capcom is so open to fan feedback and implementation.
And they did a brilliant job with that. They released 2 great Monster Hunter games.
And they've also now launched a partnership program as well. And again, which a ton of people have joined for content creators.
Now, that technically happened in 2022, but even without that, they would have won this, because even some of their smaller releases are quite good. Like, I really enjoyed Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village is not a small release, but I enjoyed that one. But Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, it's great we finally got that.
Oh yeah, Ace Attorney Chronicles is amazing, even though it does apparently take 72 hours to finish.
Oh yeah, no, they are
like seriously, the first trial alone took me pretty much from 5 till nearly midnight to get through.
Oh god, yeah, no, the Great Ace Attorney games are long, but they're very rewarding when you get them done.
Yeah, because come on, who doesn't love Sherlock Holmes and his and against his arch enemy, Miriam Waynes Moriarty.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to show up in Moriarty the Patriot season 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Capcom did a very good job this year overall. I think they also made some great announcements as well. They got a lot in their brand. Finishing the year by saying we're gonna make Sunbreak for Monster Hunter was great, and they really made up for the E3 show at the Tokyo Game Show. But by really showing off what Sunbreak is gonna giving us a good idea of what Sunbreak's gonna be like, and that's why I think Capcom won this year. Atlas could have won because they had some great releases and some great announcements, but the reason they lost for me is because the Persona 25th anniversary kind of petered out towards the end of the year from all the excitement they had with it.
I like to know as well, I was so tempted to put FromSoft on there just because of the Elden Ring announcements.
Yeah, that was a tempting one. But again, FromSoft can win next year if Elden Ring is good enough in your eyes.
Oh, 100%. I can guarantee Elden Ring's just going to win everything.
Blandest game, Elden Ring. It was so bland that I loved it.
Yeah, best graphics and art design, Elden Ring. Best remaster remake, Elden Ring. Best indie game, Elden Ring.
Oh my god. It's Reese with Iron-Blooded Orphans again. No.
Hey.
Well, in that case, then Elden Ring is just deserved as Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Touche. Best slice of life anime though, Reese.
Yes, I stand by that.
I'll be honest. If I had known any better, I would have picked King's Game for everything that year.
Just out of a joke.
Season 2 does count for slice of life for a large portion of it.
Oh yeah, true. We're going to another discussion, so let's stop this immediately. We got three awards now. Let's start with Best RPG, or as Elliot calls it,
the Scott the Wars episode 193 award. Because that is his I'm Not an RPG Guy episode.
One of my favourite episodes of his, I'd say.
It was really good, yeah.
So, Elliot, as if I need to ask, what won Best RPG?
Big surprise, Tales of Arise.
Oh god, I think I know where Reese is going with this one. What did you pick?
Yep, Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Monster Hunter Stories 2.
No, I do think overall the customization for Rise is better with all the unique 14 weapons.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Because for each weapon is a different style of play.
I don't know. I always thought. I don't know. I thought you would pick Monster Hunter Stories mostly just because that's more traditional RPG than Rises.
It is, but I prefer the freedom of Rise.
Okay.
Because with Stories 2, you're limited to 3 types of weapons.
Okay, I had choice of 3 games for it. And I went for Neo: The World Ends With You.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
For my favorite RPG of the year. I'll explain my reasoning.
Quick question. Was Tales of Arise amongst them?
Yes, Tales of Arise. The other 2 I was really seriously considering were Tales of Arise and Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Alright.
Best action game. Elliot?
The Michael Bay Wet Dream Award.
Elliot, what won that?
Big surprise, Persona 5 Strikers.
Persona 5 Strikers for you? Reese?
Monster Hunter Rise.
Of course.
Monster Hunter Rise. And my award went to Monster Hunter Rise.
Hey. Alright.
So that means Persona 5 Strikers is on 3 awards. And Monster Hunter Rise has overtaken Guardians of the Galaxy. It's now got 6 awards. And finally, best indie game. What won your best indie game, Elliot?
Death's Door.
Death's Door for you, Reese?
Death's Door.
Death's Door. Ender Lily's Quietest of the Night for me.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
Though I was happy to see that you were playing it yesterday, Elliot, in prep for this.
I did play a little bit of it today. I beat the hammer guy, the guy with the giant mace.
That's a good one.
That took me a good few goes.
I will say Ender Lily's also nearly won best soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
But God, Death's Door, what a game!
Yeah, that one was legitimately really fun. I love how it's like an isometric, one of those isometric games like Hades or Bastion.
Yeah.
And it just, but it also has like a ton of puzzles. It feels like a lot like sort of what you find in a Zelda game in this style.
Yeah, the way I described it when I was pitching it to you guys was it's a Dark Souls game made in the style of a top-down Zelda game.
And also the biggest surprise for me is that there was very little marketing for it.
Yeah, like I had never heard of this game until like a few months ago.
Yeah,
whereas I saw more stuff for Ender Lilies.
Yeah, seriously, there was no marketing for this game. I'll put it this way. It was a Microsoft exclusive for most of the year, and they barely promoted it, and they didn't put it on Game Pass.
Which
really?
Sucks, yeah.
Yeah, seriously, it was a Microsoft exclusive for months. It was never on Game Pass.
That seems like a major misstep.
Yeah, that was probably one of Microsoft's biggest missteps of the year. They could have really put a lot of attention to this thing by putting it on Game Pass.
One I would also like to mention is Encryption.
Encryption was pretty good, yeah.
Which I think that was pretty good surreal horror.
Well, one I would also recommend was Cyber Shadow.
Which is
from Yacht Club Games who do Shovel Knight.
I haven't played that one, honestly.
Isn't that the Ninja Gaiden-esque one?
Yeah, it's Ninja Gaiden with more mechs.
That one's pretty cool. I mean, I've been obviously streaming Ender Lilies from most of the second half of 2021, and I'm glad I convinced you guys it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
It's been such a cool Metroidvania. The physics in it are phenomenal.
It's also in this I learned
when you're not raging about them.
Yeah. It's also in this I learned that melee in Metroidvanias is so much more difficult than range in Metroidvanias.
Oh yeah, completely. It's one of the things I love the fact it has that really open story about it, that you have to dive into the details to get the most out of it.
Yeah, it's very Souls-like that.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell Bloodborne and Dark Souls were definitely a big influence on the creators with that one.
Yeah.
So the other award we gave out was Action Game, and this went to Persona 5 Strikers for Elliot.
Oh my god, that game was so good!
It is a proper good action game. I thought amazing how well they merged the Muso style of Dynasty Warriors and worked it well with the Persona RPG gameplay.
Yeah, it's so surprising how well they managed to combine that. I thought they did a really good job combining the elements of Breath of the Wild with Dynasty Warriors and Age of Calamity. But in this, just like they did it perfectly, like managed to make Persona 5 mechanics work as an action game.
It does a brilliant job.
And it's also now free on PS Plus.
Yeah.
People pick up.
And one of the best things about it, which is something that I don't think any other Muso game has done, I have fun playing every character.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, I have my favorites. Like my favorites probably being Joker, Sophia, and Yusuke. But I had so much fun playing as every character.
Yeah, no, it did feel like, and it also made like they made it so that you had to level up every character because you would be stuffed otherwise, and they did it in a way that didn't feel forceful. It felt organic.
Yeah, I was happily swapping the characters out for like different enemies and to level them up.
It was so close for me, but I feel like with action games, Monster Hunter Rise did a little bit more, and it really made me think about every position I was in, every action I took, and every weapon I was bringing to every fight, which is the reason that I picked it over Persona 5 Strikers. But Reese, what was the big reasoning for you picking Monster Hunter Rise?
What do you think? He's a Monster Hunter guy. He's as big a fan of Monster Hunter as I am as Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, every hunt feels different and unique.
I agree.
Yeah, every hunt just feels fantastically fun.
Yeah, every environment feels unique as well. Like, there's so much verticality now. Like in the flooded forest map, you can just jump from the upper platforms down to the river basin.
They are so cool in how they're designed. I'm looking forward to see what they'll do with Sunbreak and the places they're going to create with that one. Especially considering that, unlike Iceborne, they're not going to be limited to like one theme for it.
Especially because what we see from the trailer, it looks like we're going to a new continent, and we're getting more story on the ship captain.
It feels
dialogue.
It almost feels like just from the setting, Monster Hunter meets Castlevania.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the one that got the woes from me. Obviously, Tales of Arise winning for Elliot was no surprise because he's loved that game since it came out.
I have been raving about it for 3 months now.
Elliot,
and I still will not stop. That game is fantastic.
Elliot, that game has really convinced me more than ever. I need to get into the Tales games, and I've now
I just find it funny when we did the Jackbox stream on New Year's Eve. You were saying I nearly didn't make this because I was too busy playing Tales of Arise. I just thought, okay, he really likes it.
Because I was just doing side quests constantly. I was like, I want to play more with this battle system. I just unlocked all these new moves.
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, in every game I played this year, at some point, I stopped doing the side quests, just focus on the main story, because I just thought, no, I have a review to do. I have to get through it. With this game, I kept doing every side quest I could, because I was just having so much fun doing it.
They made a wise choice as well, sticking to 6 characters and keeping it down low, rather than overloading it with characters.
Yeah, like you can swap them. You can swap out all the characters easily. Every character had their own benefits and disadvantages. Like, I loved how each of them used a different type of astral art. It was just great.
The one thing I don't like about it is the crafting system. I don't like it in RPGs where they make me look for a certain item to craft a weapon, and that's the only method I can do. I can't just buy the weapon.
I don't normally. I don't mind that. From what I'm aware of, this is something that's kind of common in Tales games. And the items aren't that difficult to find. It's not like in multiple other JRPGs where it's like, oh, this item has like a 2% drop from like an enemy that has a 20% chance of showing up. Don't know what. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to mention it. Kingdom Hearts. But I just found it like it was super easy to craft for new items.
No, I agree. I do agree. They did seem to come organically. Like there was a weapon I was trying to craft for lore the other day, and I was like, oh, I don't know where to find this item. Nothing's dropped for it. And then I had the new area in the main story unlocked, and I was getting tons of that item, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Now I can craft that weapon.
Yeah, I just really like that. The game is just really fun.
Reese, you picked Monster Hunter Rise. Excellent choice. I personally would have picked Monster Hunter Stories 2 over it because I think it has better general RPG mechanics, but I think you also stated a very good case for Rise.
It's also why, even before I played Tales of Rise, I probably wouldn't have picked Persona 5 Strikers for this, because that's more an action game than an RPG one, if you ask me.
I see. Reese, what's your reasoning for Monster Hunter Rise winning this award?
Just that you can just really get into the character you play as. It's like a pure role-playing game.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Because your own custom character does feel like you because you have so much control over them.
I do love the customizability that you do have with them, with all the movesets and the weapons.
With the free DLC, they've got even more options and voice clips you can use as well.
That is just excellent as well. I agree.
I gotta say as well, because even put voice clips in for 2 YouTubers as well.
I do.
They can use.
I do love all the customization with all the different armor. Like I've pretty much powered up the Rathalos armor so much because I really like it.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing as well. No armor feels useless in Monster Hunter because with this whole new skills mechanic overhaul they've done, all points matter.
Yeah, legit.
Incidentally, I've been trying to
in the older games, you only got the skill if you met a certain point threshold, like 10 or 15.
I've been proper loving Monster Hunter Rise throughout most of the year. I picked Neo: The World Ends With You, and the reason I picked it is, in terms of pure RPG mechanics, it was the one I enjoyed the most.
I'll be honest, the reason why I didn't really pick it is because the gameplay got old kind of quickly for me. I remember, during the last session I did with it, I think I played for 10 hours. I mostly didn't do battles if I could avoid them.
Oh no, I was the complete opposite. I was like, give me all the battles I want. I want to try all these different combos, and I want to see what I can do with all these new things I've unlocked. And it was the game that made me love grinding. Because
I said, I just felt the gameplay got old after a while, which is something I never felt with Tales of Arise. Every battle in that game was a treat for me.
Yeah, I agree. It does have a great point, but I also really love the story, and by the end of it, I thought Neo: The World Ends With You nails its ending.
Yeah, as I said, if it wasn't for Guardians of the Galaxy, Neo: The World Ends With You would 100% be my story of the year. But
the question is, though, does it tie into the amazing anime?
No.
It does actually tie into the first game. Some of the characters do come back.
It's the way it ties into the first game. I think is fantastic. It always comes with the conclusion to the first game I never knew I needed.
Yeah, and honestly, it makes me think. I hope we get another one with a new cast. I hope we see Rindo and Fret and everyone come back again.
The problem is though that it's Square didn't market it properly, and as a result, it's sold terribly.
One of the biggest, legitimately, the last trailer for it is my worst trailer of the year, specifically because it spoils so much.
Oh my god, you're not joking.
It's the twist at the end. They spoiled that.
So,
I didn't watch any of the trailers, and I am so happy I did, because that twist is legitimately shocking for me. I feel so sorry for the people who did, because Jesus Christ.
Also, while we're on the subject of that one as well, and as a result, it's sold under expectations, so Square might be abandoning this franchise. But that being said, if they have abandoned it, at least they concluded the story and it went out on a good note.
Yeah, I'll say that much at least.
And at least the cast can always appear in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh, no. The cast, the first one already appeared in Dream Drop Distance.
Exactly.
We'll be seeing that when I eventually get to Dream Drop Distance on the streaming.
But yeah, I really hope we do get I hope this isn't the end for the series because, like, that game was really cool.
Okay, it's time for the last set of awards before we get to Game of the Year, and we're going to start with Best Xbox Exclusive. Reese and Elliot.
The last beer in the mini fridge award.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've ordered that mini fridge as well.
Hey!
And of course, I have to abstain because I don't have an Xbox.
Elliot's abstaining as well.
I do have Game Pass, though I did still rank something even though I haven't put something up, even though I haven't played it, just because I thought, yeah, this one seems like the one that deserves the award the most.
Elliot, what are you giving it to?
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite gets your award. My award goes to Forza Horizon 5.
Oh!
Yeah.
How goes Broom Broom?
Next is PlayStation Exclusive of the Year. Elliot, you're excused.
The Full Fiber Broadband Award.
Full Fiber Broadband Award.
No, actually, I did still put something up again for this one.
Okay, Elliot, who takes your award?
Ratchet & Clank Rips Apart.
Reese?
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
And I was Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as well.
It's like, I think it's the only real PS5 game everyone's talking about.
Yeah, Returnal didn't really have a chance in this one.
And Miles Morales released just at the tail end of the year, at the beginning of the year, which quickly died off.
So let's talk Best Switch Game.
Oh, Toaster's Toast Award.
Best Switch Exclusive, what did you give it to, Elliot?
Metroid Dread.
Reese?
Now, I have a question about this. I did have Monster Hunter Rise, but it is coming to PC in a week. But during 2021, it was only exclusive to Switch.
It counts.
Okay, it counts. Then Rise, then.
Rise takes that. I gave it to Metroid Dread.
Yeah, Dread was my runner-up.
So 5. Let's talk then. Best multi-platform game.
Everyone's favourite horror award.
Elliot, who took...
Oh, Ren.
Elliot, who took this one?
There were so many I could have gone with, but I went with Tales of Arise.
Tales of Arise. Reese?
I went with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that was interesting choice. I went for Persona 5 Strikers.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
So, let's go over these ones. We'll start with the Xbox one since it was only me and Elliot in this one. You picked Halo Infinite.
I just thought, from what I've heard, the game, it was the best Halo game we've gotten in years.
It is.
The multiplayer was great. The story, from what I've heard, is really good. I just thought, you know what, if I'm going to give it to any, just for me and expectations, I'm going to have to give it to this one.
Do you know, everyone has hot fights over the holiday period. My biggest fight was in my Halo/Civ group. And it was because one of the guys in it said, I'm uninstalling Halo Infinite because the multiplayer sucks.
Is it what's one of the people we know?
Yes.
From the live streams?
Yes.
So Ren.
Is it the same guy who said that Halo 5 was actually good?
Yes.
Oh, him.
Yeah, no, and he said...
that says it all.
And he doesn't. And he said, "No, I'm sticking with Halo 4 and 5 for the multiplayer because they do it better." He doesn't like the aim assist there on it. So basically, the way he was acting was like saying, "So you want this game to be less accessible for new players? Thanks for that."
Yeah, thanks a lot. You idiot.
And I was like,
just been an elitist asshole.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Halo... There is a small portion of the Halo community that are being like that with it. But in my opinion, this is the best Halo multiplayer we've had since 3.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I would go that far. And I think that as much as the microtransactions suck, the cosmetics have been very good to it. And they are enjoyable. And you don't have to do them to...
Isn't that one of the games a lot of people are complaining about with NFTs?
It does have its own cryptocurrency in it, unfortunately. But
I think a lot of online games do, though.
Yeah, they are starting to get... it's not particularly bad, and it's not as if you have to do it on the day to get it. The shop refreshes every Tuesday, Where my big problem lies is how to get them by gameplay, because the way you earn experience points is by fulfilling certain criteria and challenges, not just by winning games. You won't earn it through that. And that's the reason why Halo didn't win this award for me and Forza did. Forza is just pure joy of an open world game.
And also just say as well about Halo Infinite, it's really bad for free-to-play players because you don't unlock a new helmet until you're level 81.
Yeah, no, that is real. No.
Yeah.
No, I unlocked a new helmet at level 10 for one of my suits.
Personally, picked Halo Infinite more on the aspect of a single player game.
The single player is pretty good.
I'm more of a single player gamer anyway, so that's more what I'm judging it by.
Single player is pretty good. I really enjoy it. I thought there was a few environments where there were a few too many enemies, and I was getting a bit overwhelmed. And I'm a bit disappointed you can't change the difficulty mid-game. I feel like
one of the funny things I saw is that a lot of people comparing it to Doom Eternal.
Yeah, no, it's very much Doom Eternal has been an influence on this one in terms of just how many enemies are on screen and how much you have to keep moving. Which is, I did feel like saying at the time, you don't have to be Doom Eternal. You can just be Halo and it'll be fine.
I mean, Doom Eternal is an amazing game, so I don't really think there's much to complain about.
No, people are complaining. People are saying it's good, that they've overhauled the combat now. Like with the whole grapple hook, it's very similar to Doom Eternal's one as well.
Oh, the grapple hook adds so much to the game. It's one of the best additions to it.
Yeah, I have to love how they're changing up the gameplay at the very least, rather than just trying to make it more like the other games.
Well,
yeah, and it has actual bosses now as well.
Hey!
Eternal.
Well, no surprises that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart won all...
unanimously, yeah.
Unanimously won Best PlayStation Exclusive. It was such a good game.
I mean, of all the games I've seen come out this year, it was definitely the one that I was the most interested in. And I feel like that and Demon's Souls are the reasons why I won a PS5.
Incidentally, me and Reese both platinumed the game, and it was my first platinum trophy.
Hey, my first was Bloodborne.
Reese, what did you think of the game overall that now the year's over?
I thought it was just a really great game from start to finish.
That means...
like the cutscenes, the voice acting, everything works for the game.
The gameplay is fun and addictive. It's got great
all the weapons
combat.
are still great.
Yeah, no, you want to power them all up. Rivet and Kit are brilliant new characters, and I want them to have their own spin-off series.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say they want a Rivet and Kit game.
Honestly, that's what they should do before the end of this year. Get Insomniac just to do a quick 2 to 5 hour campaign for Rivet and Kit that's DLC.
Something like Miles Morales for Spider-Man.
Something like that, yeah. That
would be cool. That would be really cool.
And people say, "Oh, would you pay $70 for that?" Yes, I fucking would.
Honestly, I would.
What about?
I would, and honestly, I've never played a bad Ratchet and Clank game. I thought they've all been really, really good. Like some of the highlights of the consoles. So,
what about you, Reese? Would you pay £70 for that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I love the characters so much. Like especially my review where they broke them down. Like Rivet's all about post-traumatic stress disorder. Like there's so many underlying themes in the game. It's fantastic. Like, once you look past the surface of furry animals shooting stuff, it's a really deep story and it's fantastic.
And it has the best credits ever. With the song,
oh yes,
with the song they had to cut out from the main story, but they made sure to get it in there.
Yeah.
Nice,
especially when you notice Emperor Nefarious is same voice actor as Travis from No More Heroes.
They'll join you at the top.
I'll just say, I will at least say I do miss the funny subtitles, like Up Your Arsenal and whatnot, the quest for booty, things like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, those were only for the British audience.
No, for America, we didn't get it over here.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Come on. Those titles are so funny.
Incidentally, best Switch exclusive. Monster Hunter Rise won for Reese. There was no surprise there. It is, even if it had gone to PC within the year, it would have counted because we don't count PC version. It's if they go to other consoles, it would have counted.
Right.
Because otherwise, we would never have a best Xbox exclusive category.
True.
Oh god, Monster Hunter Rise really deserved your award on that one. It's a very good game.
It is. And like I said, second place was Metroid Dread for me.
Well, we'll talk more about Metroid Dread in a minute, but Rise, how would you say... we talked a lot about Rise, so I don't think we have much more to add to it. But how would you say Rise ranks now in the... obviously, we can't really judge until Sunbreak comes out, but at this point in time, how would you say Rise ranks in the Monster Hunter sort of tier list?
I'd say probably third or fourth. It's really up there for me now.
Generations is your favourite, isn't it?
Yeah. Generations Ultimate.
Yeah, no,
and then below that you have Freedom Unite for the PSP, then Iceborne, and now Rise.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if Sunbreak pushes it over any of those games. But
I think definitely has a high chance to over Iceborne. Because the problem now is with Iceborne, there's so much more content, and it has the 4K visuals.
And I've always said...
Whereas Rise is limited to the Switch at the minute.
And I've always said to you, Reese, I've tried to get into Monster Hunter. It's not quite happened. This year, it happened.
Yeah, it's the year that got me into the series. I'll say that much.
And
Good.
The thing is, I heard a lot of people complain Monster Hunter compared to Monster Hunter World. Oh, I'm going to wait till this is in 60 FPS 4K before I'll play it. It's like, no, this game proves the point that that's bullshit. Because because this game was in 30 FPS and 1080p, it still looked and ran amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's because the game was built around that mechanics. And I'm presuming the PC version has been well done, so it will fit 4K and 60 FPS. And even then, I'm going to be sticking with the Switch version as my main play, because they won't add cross-saves, unfortunately.
Yeah, which unfortunately they can't do due to the multiplayer aspect.
Which is it's a shame. I wish they had put a little more effort in and said... Can we have cross-saves?
I'm going to get the PC version strictly for streaming purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm still going to play Switch in my pastime, mostly.
Again,
especially because if you look at Capcom's Twitter with Monster Hunter, they're posting videos all the time with the 4K conversions.
All right.
Yeah, no, the Capcom's Twitter has done a very good job setting that, and I'm looking forward in a week to buying it and seeing how does this run in 60 FPS and 4K. But at the same time, I think it's going to be... I'm not going to be able to take it on the go. I'm going to be able to take my Switch on the go way easier. And it...
Yeah.
Incidentally, I had the weirdest experience ever because I was doing I think it was the Apex Azure hunt on a train ride to Liverpool. And I thought, I'll get this done before Liverpool one way or another. And I was coming up to Liverpool, to the train station. And I hadn't even got it to limp.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my god, I've got to do something about... Oh my god, this has gone on too long. I'm going to run out of time. I did manage to beat it in the end, but it took a while to actually get it done. But there's also experiences like that. Metroid Dread, though, we have not talked about it this entire thing. And despite the fact it was one of the best things I played all year.
That is a crime against humanity, the fact that it took this long for us to talk about it.
But it does have a point that it doesn't really win best soundtrack, and I couldn't really give it best graphics and art style.
I couldn't give it best story because the story was more in the background.
Action, it was very close, but I thought Monster Hunter Rise did a little bit better. But man, is it such a good game.
I'll say now, when it comes to the games I played this year, this is the one I've had the most fun with.
It's such good fun. And I remember...
It is seriously fun, dude. Like, this is the first full experience with a Metroid game that I've had. It works. It legitimately works.
And we were having such good fun with it. I remember we talked non-stop about it when we got it on release day with our Switch OLEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing
especially because the OLED made such difference as well.
Yeah, it really added to that game.
There's a reason. I think there's a reason why these two came out on the same day.
Hopefully it's we haven't seen the sales yet, but hopefully it has sold pretty well because I don't want another Metroid drought. But as a way to conclude this portion of Metroid's story, I think they did a very good job.
Also, I'd just like to say this has my favorite collector's edition of the year because it comes with that gigantic fucking art book.
Which is amazing. I love the art book.
Which doesn't just show the history of Dread, it shows the history of the Metroid series as a whole.
Yeah.
One of the things I will say, though, Mercury Steam did a very good job of it. I wish they'd credited their staff a lot better than they had. But the only thing I don't like about Metroid Dread is the map on it. I think the map in Fusion was better.
Yeah, which is my big complaint as well. My review.
Yeah.
As I said, I didn't really have any major complaints for it. I just thought the game was super good.
I got lost one too many times. That was my big problem with it.
It's kind of the thing that happens in Metroidvanias, though. You're kind of meant to get lost. But honestly, I rarely found myself lost. When I did, I found my way pretty easily, and there's always that sense of elation where you finally find your way on where you're going.
We got to wrap this up soon, so let's quickly talk about our multi-plat games. Elliot, you loved Tales of Arise.
Is there any surprise? This is my favorite multi-plat. This was just so good.
When you picked that review, I did not think this is going to be one of his favorite games of the year.
I didn't either. I thought, all right, this is just going to be fun. I'm probably going to give it an 8 out of 10. I've heard the game was really good. I was just like, oh no, this is fantastic.
This is the game that's made me go and buy all the Tales games in the Steam sales.
Same. I bought it like when I was all the other Tales games when I was halfway through it.
Oh god, I am so looking forward to going through all those games when I get a chance. But Tales of Arise, I'm not done with it yet, but I'm going to finish it.
How far in it are you?
I'm coming up to the beginning of Chapter 4.
Chapter 4,
you're
about to meet the fourth Lord.
Yeah, I'm about to come up to the fourth Lord of that one. I'm working my way through that. I've got all the 6 characters. So that one, and I will say the journey to get there is great.
Absolutely, I love the world building as well.
I'll tell you,
they could have easily gone with sort of normal elements, like this place is this area is a giant lake because there's water, or this place is wasteland because there's earth. No, they actually do something really cool with it. Like the water area is a giant swamp. The bit with the light is completely snowed out because there's been no sunshine for 300 years.
I will say there's one.
I just think that element is really cool.
I played the Xbox Series X version, and it does have a problem with it, which is that if you play it from Quick Resume, it often crashes when it's trying to load environments.
I played the Steam version.
Yeah, I did initially get it on Steam, and I thought it didn't look very good on Steam, so I bought the Xbox version to check if my monitors got an issue, and it doesn't have an issue. It's just the fact I think it looks better. I think the Xbox version looks a little bit better.
I mean, I still think the Steam version still looks really damn good.
The Steam version looks pretty good.
Is that because the Xbox on a bigger TV, Cal, a bigger screen?
Slightly bigger screen, yeah, I think.
Maybe. Are your monitors 4K?
Yeah, both my monitors are 4K ready.
Oh, right, okay.
But I will say, it is a really damn good game. That combat system is fantastic.
Really, seriously good.
It took me a bit of getting the hang of the whole charging up the big attacks. That took me a bit of getting used to because I often was holding it down too long and depleting a lot of my health.
I found I was doing that quite often, but I figured it out pretty quickly.
Reese, your best multi-plat was Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did not think, considering you weren't big on the gameplay and all the glitches that happened in it. Why was it your choice at the end?
Because it's more stable on other platforms, and it's also on every major platform now, even on Switch. The cloud version. Yeah. You can say it's on. I'm going to go with a Scott the Woz quote again. You can say it's on Switch, but I'm going to squint when you say that. Yeah.
I feel like if people are really that bothered about playing these big games, they will be playing on one of the better consoles. I think the Switch is more just for Nintendo fans.
It does fit,
Yeah.
the best third party games on Switch are the ones that succeed very well. Tend to be the ones that feel very Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly.
But just saying that, no matter what console you have, if you can't afford a bigger one, stuck with Switch, you can play Guardians.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Though you will have to have a very good internet connection to play it.
Yeah.
It is a very good game. I will say that one. The combat is quite good. It's a bit samey, the combat, but unlike Avengers.
I mean, I never tired of it.
Yeah,
I never got tired of it.
I never really got tired of it, but I will say the reason it succeeds very well is unlike Avengers, it expands very well and powers up very well, but it's also the fact that you're not playing multiple characters and they all feel like the same, which was my big problem with Avengers. It was like Miss Marvel plays almost exactly the same as Thor, who plays almost exactly the same as Iron Man. These
Black Panther will be no different.
No, Spider-Man is no different from what I've heard from people that played. I've looked at the footage of that. I looked at the footage of the Spider-Man gameplay, and I was like, "That's the exact same as Iron Man. There is no difference. What is the point?"
Yeah, but instead of this one, it's just like, okay, we're just gonna have you play as Star-Lord. You can just have everyone else do movesets.
Which is what it's compared more to Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, it definitely has a bit of
ability of 4 heroes at once.
Yeah, it definitely does have a bit of that quality to it. It is a very well done game. I'm glad it was there. However, Persona 5 Strikers was my winner. It was just great because it felt like I got more Persona 5, and I didn't need more Persona 5, but I'm glad I have it.
I mean, yeah, same. It feels a little blasphemous for me with Persona 5 Strikers not putting it up for more, because Persona 5 is my favorite game of all time. But the game's just is still really damn good.
It is the sequel I never knew I needed, and I'm glad I've got it, and I had a ball with it.
And hopefully I hope we get one more game. I feel like one more should probably satisfy me. As much as I love Persona 5, I don't think they should do anything after that. I feel like after that, they should just be moving on to Persona 6.
Yeah, or maybe bring the characters into Persona Q3, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So let's move on and finally do our Game of the Year.
AKA the Perfect Sandwich Award.
So,
the Perfect Bacon Sandwich Award.
Elliot, in alphabetical order, what are your 5 nominees for Game of the Year?
Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Monster Hunter Rise, Persona 5 Strikers, and Tales of Arise.
And the winner is...
Tales of Arise!
Tales of Arise takes it for you. Okay.
I'll be honest, if you had us to do the nominees, I would have done a joke saying Resident Evil 8.
Reese, in alphabetical order, your 5 nominees for Game of the Year.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mobile Suit Gundam, Bass Operation Code Fairy, wrong way. Metroid Dread, then Gundam Battle Operation, then Monster Hunter Rise, and then Ratchet and Clank.
And the winner is?
Monster Hunter Rise.
I thought
Big
so.
Rise.
Got to be.
5 nominees for Game of the Year are Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Night, Metroid Dread, Monster Hunter Rise, Persona 5 Strikers, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
And the winner is?
Persona 5 Strikers.
Oh! No way. I thought for a while you would pick Ratchet and Clank.
No,
Lilies.
Metroid Dread got close. Inched it. I got it down to 2. It was either going to be Metroid Dread or Persona 5 Strikers, but I thought by the end of the year, Persona 5 Strikers is the one I have the happiest memories with. And that was the reason it won. And also, I know it's trivial, but I wish the map was better in Metroid Dread.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
Elliot, I think we've heard the reason why you picked Tales of Arise, which took 3 awards this year.
Oh, God. Basically, any of these could have won easily. Though, here's the main reason why I did it. Metroid Dread was really fun. but I felt was a very fun gameplay, but I felt the story was a bit in the background. Persona 5 Strikers, again, amazing gameplay, amazing story, but the gameplay could get bored, a bit tiresome after a while. Tales of Arise did both of these things just as good as each other, and perfectly. Like, I just fell in love with everything. I fell in love with the world, the characters, the story, the gameplay. Honestly, this is not only the game that made me buy every other Tales game on Steam, and it's no doubt going to make me buy so many more in the series. This has become one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. It's up there with Dragon Quest XI and Persona 5 for me. It is just phenomenally good.
That is high praise.
Seriously high praise.
Yes.
I fell head over heels in love with this game. It's currently my game of the decade.
Wow.
It is so fucking amazing.
I'm looking forward to your face that ever announced Tales of Arise 2.
I'm just saying now, with your playthrough, keep playing it. It gets so much better as it goes down the line.
And I was thinking partway through, should this be a streaming game? But then I realised, no, me and Ren would have to keep shutting up to hear all the character dialogues every so often.
Yeah.
Reese, you picked Monster Hunter Rise, which I was thinking throughout most of today that will probably be the winner for you, but I thought maybe he'll surprise me at the last minute and pick something else. But no, you picked it. You really enjoyed it, and you clearly have a lot of love for that game.
Personally, I had no doubt in my mind. I felt the only thing that probably would have beaten it was Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I just had too many technical issues, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And Monster Hunter just shines in every category it's in.
Is it, you Robert, you're really a big Monster Hunter fan, and I'm glad, glad you got your itch scratched this year. It's, would you say this would be one of the games you say people, if you're getting a Switch, this is a game you need to get?
Oh, easily, yeah. If you have a Switch and you're into action games as a genre, then definitely get Rise. By shadow of a doubt.
It does feel like the most accessible Monster Hunter game to date.
Yeah. It definitely is, I'll say that much.
Persona 5 Strikers, I never got bored of that gameplay. It was so well done. And I love the characters even more now. I love the setting. I think they expanded on Persona 5 in a brilliant way. And it was like, I was saying throughout the year, I'm not going to be able to justify to myself Persona 5 Strikers being my game of the year. But then I went, do you know what? Yes, I can. At the last minute, I went, yes, I can justify it. Because it's well put together. It gives me back everything I loved about Persona 5 and makes it work. And it's such a well done game overall. So
honestly, it was so good to see those characters again. So, just seeing those characters in a new environment.
So yeah, you can call me a fanboy all you want, but this was the game that made me the most happy. Metroid Dread is probably the technical best game I played this year, but Persona 5 Strikers made me much more happier, and I had a whale of a time playing it.
I mean, I 100% agree with you. Persona 5 Strikers was amazing. It's funny with Persona 5 because there are so many games where I have like 3 hours left of it. I just think, I still have 3 hours. And then I remember in Persona 5 getting to like halfway through, and then I generally thought, I only have 50 hours left. I actually thought that. I was just like, I want to spend more time with these characters. I want to see them more. I want to interact with them more. I'm so happy I got that in Persona 5 Strikers.
My runner-up was Metroid Dread. What was your runner-up of your 5, Elliot?
Persona 5 Strikers. As good as Guardians of the Galaxy was.
Reese, what was your runner-up?
Metroid Dread.
Metroid Dread, yeah, no, so that's interesting. So I think we agree between us, the 3 games, I think collectively the 3 games between us that we liked, the 3 or 4 games we liked most this year were Tales of Rise, Persona 5 Strikers, Metroid Dread, and Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah.
I'd definitely say Guardians of the Galaxy is up there as well.
Yeah, it won 5 awards off us. Which made it, in terms of the number of awards, Monster Hunter Rise won that. It took 7 awards. Persona 5 Strikers, Ratchet & Clank, and Guardians of the Galaxy all came second. They won 5 awards. And after that, a lot of one awards. Forza got one, Ender Lily's got one, Neo: The Wilderness You got one. That kind of surprised me. Resident Evil Village got one, Halo Infinite got one. The one that surprised me the most, it didn't get any awards because I thought Reese might give it one. Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, like if Rise wasn't allowed for RPG, it's listed as an RPG, I would have given it Stories 2.
Stories 2 is very good. I kind of wish Pokemon Snap got not won something.
I'm gonna say I'm a little bit upset that Nier Replicant didn't win anything. That game was really good. I guess Scarlet Nexus as well was good.
Scarlet Nexus is all right, but I wouldn't go nuts for it.
I mean, yeah, I gave it a 7.8.
But it was a very good year for games. And I mean, there's a lot to look forward to in 2022. There's Elden Ring. There's Pokemon Legends Arceus in a couple of weeks.
There's Horizon Forbidden West.
For Horizon Forbidden...
It's God of War Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok. Breath of the Wild 2, hopefully.
Kirby. There's Kirby.
There's...
Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3. There's so many good games coming out this year.
It's going to be very... I think it's going to be another very hard year, but I would... So that's it for us this time. We'll be back... we'll probably be back with this thing in a couple of weeks, because... after Anime Amigos, because Sod's Law says the week we do Anime Amigos, and we've already picked it out, is the week there'll be a Nintendo Direct.
I hope so.
We'll definitely do something next month at least, if there is unless there's an. But at the minute we're kind of sort of holding off just in case a Nintendo Direct happens, so we don't have too much in one space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
well. Thank you guys for joining in on this one. This was very good fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like it's funny that I don't get to talk about games as much as I do on this kind of setting. So it's really awesome to have a platform to talk about games like this.
That's cool, man. We'll be back next time. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Take care.